All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er draft video. Who's my favorite player from the draft? We'll get to it next. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Marin County from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. They're open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Well, the 49ers had what I think was a very successful draft coming up there or this weekend. Jair Brown is the guy that really stands out for sure. I think he's a plug-and-play starter. I think he's going to be really good for the 49ers, and I'm a big fan of Jair Brown. He's a strong kid. He's an athletic kid. He's a tone-setting kid. He's a culture player. He works hard. He's going to be a big-time guy for the 49ers. So overwhelmingly, he's the best player they got. But as far as value and as far as who's my favorite player that they drafted, I'm going to go with Darrell Luter Jr., the cornerback who played for South Alabama, the South Alabama Jaguars. And, just listening to the 49ers talk about Darrell Luter, they said they met him, they went out on the patio. He's a mature kid. He's a married guy with a kid. 6-foot corner, 190 pounds from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and he's just a great athlete. And I to me, this is a really, really nice pick by the 49ers because you're talking about a press cover corner who's got great ball skills and is very, very physical. There was a good depth in this cornerback class. But this guy is really nice. I mean, he's coming off an underrated program. I think he's better playing press man than off man coverage. The ball production definitely wasn't there this last year that it was prior. But you got to remember, I mean, a lot of these teams have 1 or 2 great players on them, and the word gets out. Go with the other guy. And Luter was a guy who was thought to be one of South Alabama's better players, so it doesn't surprise me. It happens all the time where you have a college corner that has a great junior year, and then his production looks like it's down as a senior. Well, why is that? Because every offensive coordinator in the meeting room talking to the quarterback says, hey, stay away from Darrell Luter Jr., and they just go the other side. And Luter, though, is an all-around athlete. He was a 3-sport athlete at Oak Grove High School, and played football. He played basketball. He ran track and field. Then he went the JUCO route. It wasn't handed to him. He went to Pearl River Community College. He was productive there, and then he moved on to South Alabama, and he's become the first-team All-Sun Belt Conference player out at South Alabama. And he was a third-team All-Conference player as a senior, but he was first team as a junior. And I just really like this player. He's got really, really long arms, big hands, great footwork. You can see how smooth he is going, in his transitions. I think he's fast enough to run down the field and mirror receivers down the field on the vertical routes. You see him use the sideline as an extra defender. He's a vet. This guy's a mature football player. He's a polished football player, and he definitely studies his receivers. You can see that he knows their tendencies. He times up the arm swing at the catch point. He's very competitive at the catch point. So he is a little high cut, but I'll tell you, and he could be a more physical tackler. But you got a corner because you like him as a cover guy. And I love this guy as a cover guy. I think there's a lot of potential there. He ran 4.46 in the 40. He's got a 1.57 10-yard split. But then when you look at what a great athlete he is, 40.5-inch vertical, 10.3 broad jump, 6.9 3-cone. Those are all really, really good numbers. So you're talking about a corner with good size, long arms, huge hands, ran a good 40 time, has shown tremendous quickness in addition to speed, great lower body explosion. And for corners, that matters. Why? Because contested catches down the field, a lot of times you got to go up in the air and make a play. And this guy has got 40.5-inch vertical. He's got some real dominant physical traits. And if you watch the film, he played well. So, state of Mississippi creates a lot of great athletes. It feeds Mississippi, Mississippi State, Southern Miss, and many of their top players wind up playing all throughout the SEC and all throughout the southeast part of the country. This kid's from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and wound up at South Alabama. So, then I'll say this: the Niners did a deep dive on a bunch of day 3 corners, and they grabbed the guy they wanted. And they felt like his maturity was off the charts, and he's ready to play. So, to me, I really like this pick. One, it was a position of need. 2, I really like the film. And then when you look at the measurables and the athlete, and you take a closer look at the athlete, you're like, wow, this guy's super athletic. You know, that 40-inch vertical's got to be 90th percentile. The 4.46 is plenty fast. When you watch the film, he can mirror receivers up and down the field. So I like him. I like the fact that he's mature. I like the fact that football's important to him. And to me, that's a guy to look for. You know, at some point in this summer, you're going to see the 49ers. You need depth at corner. And at corner this year, what do they have? They have Diamador Lenore at left corner. They got Charvarius Mooney Ward at right corner. They probably got Isaiah Oliver in the nickel as your starting nickel. So those are your top 3 guys. Then your second 3 would be Miles Hartsfield at the nickel spot, Samuel Womack, let's say, behind Charvarius, and then probably Darrell Luter Jr. I think he's probably, Ambry Thomas has a lot of talent, but man, he's coming off a very disappointing year. Quantrez Knight they list as a corner, but I kind of think Quantrez is more of a safety at the next level. In the NFL. We'll find out this summer. Quantrez, after a year on the practice squad, will have improved. It'll be interesting to see where they have him slated. I also really love this pick because Steve Wilks has a great eye for defensive backfield talent. I think the Niners haven't had a guy in-house that has this kind of an eye for defensive backs since Ray Rhodes. And I love the fact that they added 2 real impact guys, in my opinion, to the secondary in Jair Brown and Darrell Luter Jr. So, and I'll say this, I really like Deshaun Jameson as well from Texas, the undrafted free agent. So I think they really added 3 players back there in that secondary that are going to make the team from this draft. 2 corners and 1 safety. But I love Luter because, to me, you look at his film and you see that he can play, and he knows how to play, and he's a veteran player, and there's some savvy to his coverage, and then you see the measurables and the talent and the athleticism, and you're like, wow, there's some serious upside here. So I love it. I love the pick. I love when you can marry collegiate production and elite next-level athleticism, and Darrell Luter Jr. has that. And I think because of those 2 traits, I think he's going to be a special player for the 49ers. So remember that name this summer. Remember, Krug told you first. Darrell Luter Jr. Is a baller, and I can't wait to see him play this summer in Santa Clara and, of course, in the preseason. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out in Corte Madera and in Emeryville. And thanks to all of you for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.